Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room where everyone is screaming at a TV? A goal is scored, a wicket falls, a buzzer beater happens, and you feel absolutely nothing? No excitement, no adrenaline, no emotional reaction at all? You just think, why is everyone losing their mind over this? If that's you, this video might feel uncomfortably accurate, because today we're talking about the psychology of people who don't care about sports at all. Not a little bit, not sometimes, but genuinely, deeply, couldn't care less. And here's the truth most people don't talk about. This isn't a flaw. It's not laziness, and it definitely doesn't mean you're boring or broken. In fact, it often says something very specific about how your mind works. Let's break it down. Sports, psychologically, are not just games. They are identity machines. Teams become us. Opponents become them. Wins feel personal. Losses feel humiliating. For many people, supporting a team is like joining a tribe. Shared colors, shared rituals, shared enemies, shared emotional highs and lows. But people who don't care about sports often don't build their identity through external groups. They don't feel the need to say, "We won," "We lost," "This is my team." Instead, their identity is built around personal values, individual interests, internal goals, ideas, creativity, or self-growth. To them, cheering for strangers because they wear the same jersey feels emotionally illogical. Not wrong, just irrelevant. Sports are unpredictable. That's the appeal. But for some minds, unpredictability doesn't feel thrilling. It feels mentally draining. People who don't care about sports often prefer systems they can understand, progress they can control, effort that leads to direct results. In sports, you invest emotion, you have zero control, and outcomes depend on people you've never met. For certain personalities, that's not entertainment. That's stress with no payoff. These individuals often enjoy learning skills, building things, deep conversations, strategy games, creative work, quiet mastery. They'd rather create outcomes than emotionally react to them. Here's a huge psychological difference most people miss. Sports fandom gives vicarious dopamine. You feel like you've achieved something without actually doing anything. For many people, that's satisfying. But people who don't care about sports usually have a brain wired like this. If I didn't do it, why should I feel proud of it? They don't feel accomplishment by association. They get dopamine from finishing a project, learning something new, improving a skill, solving a problem, creating something meaningful. Watching others win doesn't scratch that itch. So instead of yelling at a screen, they'd rather read, build, write, think, work, learn, or simply be alone with their thoughts. Let's be honest. In many cultures, liking sports isn't just a hobby, it's an expectation. You're supposed to watch the big matches, know the star players, join the office discussion, pick a side. People who don't care about sports often feel like, I'm pretending just to fit in. And at some point, they stop pretending. Psychologically, this shows low need for social approval. They don't hate sports, they just refuse to fake interest. They'd rather be seen as quiet, different, unrelatable, than dishonest. That takes more confidence than people realize. Sports are fast, loud, and emotional and moment-based. But people who don't care about sports often enjoy depth over excitement, meaning over stimulation, long-term thinking over instant thrills. Their brains are wired by philosophy, psychology, art, technology, business, human behavior, long conversations, inner worlds. They're not wired for crowd energy, they're wired for internal clarity. That's why they might look bored during a match, but fully alive during a quiet, thoughtful discussion. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. People who don't care about sports are often labeled as boring, antisocial, too serious, not fun, cold. But the reality is, they're not disconnected from emotion. They're selective with it. They don't give emotional energy to things that don't align with their inner world. And once you're inside that world, you'll often find loyalty, depth, humor, creativity, insight, calm strength. They just don't broadcast it through cheering. If you don't care about sports at all, you're not missing out on life. You're just living it through thought instead of noise, depth instead of hype, meaning instead of momentum. And in a world addicted to constant stimulation, that's not weakness, that's awareness. If this video felt uncomfortably accurate, or if you finally felt understood, you're exactly why this channel exists. Subscribe for psychology that explains human behavior without judgment, without cliches, and without forcing you to fit into a box that was never meant for you. We'll see you in the next one.